Sounds fantastic.
Great. Oh, he's got a ladder. What's he doing out there?
There are people doing things like directly outside of the window where we record.
We're not used to this.
No, and also, can we just tell them to not talk?
Excuse me. Be quiet.
Not speak. Thanks.
For just a little bit. We've got some fun stories to tell. Just gather around. Gather around. They're like peeping out the window. Peeping in the window.
Like we don't care.
Okay, hey.
I'm trying to figure out if I should move the... It's okay. I'll just crop it. Hey, YouTube. Hi.
Hey.
Let's go. All right.
Hey, Megan.
Hi, Kara.
On the Witches, Magic, Murder, and Mystery podcast.
That's what this is. Witches, Magic, Murder, Mystery.
Here we are.
I heard the other day, I think it was Let's Go to Court. Do you guys listen to that podcast? It's one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. But they were like, we're rusty because we took a week off. And I'm like, me and Kara never take a week off. And we're still
rusty.
We're just goofy.
Yeah, I think I told you, like, my mom was riding with me the other day, and she was like, it's so weird to, like, see people fangirling over you because y'all are just weird people.
We are weird people. She's not wrong.
Yeah. She's like, y'all are just goofy.
It's part of our charm.
I know. Here we are. We're here for it.
Goofy in general.
That's why we get along so well.
I know.
Two peas in a pod.
Okay. What are you doing today?
I'm going to do a witch. Okay, so there's, like, doing all this research, people pronounce it so many different ways. Baba Yaga, Baba Yaga, Baba Yaga. And I'm just going to call her...
Do that one, please. Every time.
I'm going to
Baba Yaga.
Yaga. And I'm just going to, like, mix it up every time. No, I probably will call her Baba Yaga because that's what my Kentucky accent wants to do.
That's how I've always said it when I've read it places. Baba Yaga.
They're just going to keep falling off my face. So I'm just going to call her Baba Yaga.
Okay.
Okay, so there's two versions of this story.
Wait.
Let me tell you. Okay. So, one is Russian, one is Slavic. Babushka is, like, known as, like, grandmother, like an older lady. So that's kind of where people think that it came from, like an older married woman of lower social class or simply just grandmother. Baba Yaga, also spelled Baba Jaga in Slavic folklore, also known as like an ogress who stole. She also is known to cook and eat her victims, and they were usually children.
This sounds like my Christmas witch.
Yeah, like your Christmas witch.
Grilla.
Yes. She's a guardian of the fountain of water of life. So like the fountain of youth, that she lives with her 2 or 3 sisters. There's several different stories that tell that she has none. There's some that say she has 1. There's some that say she has 2. Some that say she has 3. So she's all over the board.
Right.
Yeah.
Well documented.
Yeah, I know. Yes, everywhere. So it says she lives in a forest hut that spins continually on birds' legs. People say that they're like chicken legs. She often accompanies Death on his travels while he devours newly released souls. Slamming doors out there. God, guys, get over here.
Like you all don't know. We're doing a podcast.
Jeez.
Men.
Which kind of makes sense because later in the story, it goes on to tell about how, like, some stories, like old stories, say that she's like a goddess. And so, thinking that she's related to Persephone was the goddess of harvest, but also, like, married to Hades. Mm-hmm. So then that would make sense that she would go with, I guess, Hecate to take spirits to the underworld.
The underworld? Okay.
I don't know. Russian folklore, Baba Yaga is a scary character who lives in a hut like the other one, who walks on chicken legs. So this one doesn't say that it spins, but both have the chicken legs.
So it's just like
constantly
moving,
spinning.
Through the
Yes.
forest. It hurts my head just to think about it.
I know. And some in the Russian folklore say that she is the devil's grandmother. So that means that she had to have had kids. But none of the stories really tell about the kids. So, I don't know.
The devil's grandmother? I've never thought about the devil having, like...
Parents.
A lineage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's weird when you think of something you've never thought of before.
Yes.
Like, oh, the devil has parents?
Yes. So all of these stories, there's some, similarities, but all of them say that she appears to follow little or few morals. But when she makes a promise, she makes sure she keeps that promise. So it's either like if somebody comes to her and is like, hey, I want to accomplish this, she's like, I'll help you with this. You got to give me this in return. Mm-hmm. And so you're thinking, oh, she's going to like trick them. Nope. She keeps her promise. She's good on her word. I'm like, huh, that's weird. So
she has like some moral compass. Like it's just a little.
She's eating people in this tiny chicken hut.
Sort of throws it off.
Yeah, like, but here she is.
But deep down, she's got a good heart.
Yeah, she's okay, I guess. So, in the tales I was telling you about, she's never portrayed as a goddess, but I did say that in the older stories, she shows a lot of similarity to the great goddess, the patron goddess to women. In some accounts, she's manifested with winter or storms. In others, she's a goddess akin to Persephone. Mm. So, winter storms would make sense because it's like death rolling over, and Persephone's like bringing a new life. Mm-hmm. So, maybe the devil is Hades.
I wish you all could have seen Kira's face just then. Like her whole eyes got wide, like it clicked. That was great. Oh my gosh. That was fun to watch.
She's Persephone's mother-in-law. Yeah. So like I said, she's usually shown as like an old lady. But in here it says like she was an ugly old lady and never clean. She's often represented.
Never clean?
Yes, with a distorted nose and long teeth. And it just says that her hut didn't have any like modern facilities like hot running water or a shower. And so maybe that's why they said she wasn't a clean lady. Because her hut was
it's on
tiny.
Chicken legs.
It was on chicken
legs. What kind of plumbing can you do with that situation?
Yes. So she knows like of all the world. Like she knows of all the happenings. So it's kind of like, I don't know, she just like can have all these visions about stuff, even like in her tiny little hut.
So she's sort of godlike in that way too?
Yes.
Okay.
And so having control over the fountain of youth, she has the secret of turning from an old lady into a young lady. And she has like this special power of doing that whenever she wants to. But she doesn't do it to make people fall in love with her. She doesn't do it to like trick men into being like, ooh, look at this lady over here.
So she's still got this whole moral compass thing.
Yes. But she did use it to trick people.
Just not men?
Not for love.
Oh. Yeah. Still men, but not men for love.
Yeah.
Got it.
She didn't,
So this is not like, I keep thinking of Ursula the Sea Witch. It's not her, because that's like the exact opposite of what she does.
Yes. Yeah. So it's also rumored that she had one leg, which some people like relate her to a snake. I didn't read much about that. It was kind of hard to find. But every like little tidbits here and there would be like, oh, like people compare her to a snake. But I don't like one leg and you're compared to a snake, which also makes sense because in the Garden of Eden, the devil came.
Yeah.
I don't know. Lucifer. I don't know.
And she is his grandmother.
Yeah. What if it was her? She was like, here, honey, eat this apple. And then now we're back at Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs giving poisonous apples to Snow White.
We figured this out.
We are here, Disney.
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Here, Disney.
Okay, so she's also known as the Russian goddess of birth and death. But then they like changed her into this child-eating witch whose name was used to threaten children into obedience. So they would say, be good or Baba Yaga will eat you. How terrifying is that?
I don't know. And, we talked about this with the Christmas witches too. Like people would take these folklore things and just terrify your children. I cannot even imagine.
Why? Be good. Baba Yaga's going to eat you.
If I told that to Ella, she wouldn't sleep again.
Yeah, same.
Like ever. And then I just
with Willow.
Suffer.
Yeah. Yeah. No, nobody wants to do that.
Yeah, I need sleep. I mean, it would bother me. I would feel bad about it.
Yeah. So in all the pictures, she appears as like a deformed and ferocious old lady who is super thin. And she has iron teeth that stick out like boar's tusks, hands that are tipped with bear's claws, wears a necklace of human skulls, and smokes a pipe. I'm just like...
That's a lot. That's a lot to, like... I started trying to picture it, and then I got distracted.
Yeah. So some of the stories also say...
how many skulls? What kind of skulls on the necklace?
Human skulls.
Those are big.
Yeah.
Or are they small?
Can she shrink them?
Sure.
Is she the head shrinker person?
Yes.
Yeah. What are those called? I not witch doctor. Is it witch doctor?
Witch doctor. You're right.
Yeah. Head shrinker people.
Head shrinkers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So some of the stories also say she's accompanied by 3 horsemen who are her servants, representing dawn, sun, and night. In this aspect, she is the mistress of time who measures the turning of the wheel.
She's a lot of things.
She really is. Also, people think that that kind of goes with her house constantly spinning because the world is constantly spinning.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. But, so some people who practice magic may petition her for fertility. She knows everything about botanical healing in secret and in its existence. So whether or not she can be persuaded to reveal these secrets is another story. She's the mistress of all witches, lady of the beasts, the primal mother who rescues, nurtures, and destroys. So people who practice magic will call on like goddesses and stuff to like help them with certain like whatever tasks that they're trying to do. But it says you got to be super careful about like asking her for stuff because she expects things in return.
Yeah, and she seems really
scary.
Powerful. Like,
yeah.
let's not...
Like, hey, I want to have a baby. Like, let's freshen up my womb here, but okay, I gotta give you something to freshen up my womb here. But what do I give you in return? What was that child story? You gotta guess his name. And she was like, he would spin wool for her, or she would spin wool for him.
Nope, no idea.
And she had to like give him her firstborn.
Nope.
I don't know.
You said guess their name. I just went to Beetlejuice, and now I can't think of anything else.
Beetlejuice.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. But since the Christian era has been so degrading to her, she's now just considered a witch. Like they don't talk about her being a goddess.
Women are not powerful.
Women are not powerful.
We don't speak of it.
No. Okay, so she lives in the heart of a deep birch forest in a little hut. And it stands, like I said, on stilt like chicken feet. It says that it'll obey her. So when she tells it to move, it moves. So it walks around the forest on its little chicken feet.
I love it.
Yeah.
How is this not like a bunch of movies? You know what I mean?
I know.
Like that alone seems like a great visual for any kind of creepy movie. Maybe it is and we just don't know it.
I don't know. We'll have to
Baba
watch
Yaga's in a movie, tell us.
Please, somebody tell us.
Especially the house.
Yes, it says it screeches and groans, and it continually spins while it's in motion.
So the house is alive too, basically?
It'll only come to It'll only come to a rest when she says a special spell, and then the doors fling open, and a loud crash happens. And the house itself is made of bones that Baba Yaga has collected. The doorposts are leg bones. The lock is a sharp-toothed mouth. The bolt is a hand. The bolt is a hand. The windows serve as eyes. The fence surrounding the hut is made of 12 bones capped with skulls whose empty eye sockets glow in the dark.
This is the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Just like the visual.
Yeah.
Is great.
The 12 fence posts correspond with the 12 signs of the zodiac. Wherever the house is located, it is always at the border of the realms of death and the afterlife. She has to be Hecate, like associated with Hecate.
I would think so.
Yes. So she flies through the air, not on a broom. She does have a broom. She flies in a cauldron. Yes. And she steers it, and she uses her broom to sweep away traces of her, like behind her.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah. So she... I don't know. It says one of her legs may be made of clay or gold or iron or steel, and that's why some people think that she's, I don't know, like it. They say that she has a pestle that she like steers with, and they think that like maybe her leg is that. And I'm like, oh, so you've got like one leg out the cauldron, and you're like just constantly.
It'd have to be behind her, right?
Yeah.
To, like, sweep. No, the broom
her broom is
behind
her. So she's got one hand sweeping with her bare claws.
This seems like a lot of work.
One, like, in a cauldron, just... No wonder she's got a sweep behind her. That's going to dig into the ground.
No wonder she's deformed. That's a lot of weird movement to do.
God.
It seems like, as powerful as she is, she could come up with a better system.
Yeah. But in Russian tales, it transforms her into Santa because she uses chimneys to fly in and out of her... So I'm like, what? Huh? Yeah. Yeah. So, I know. So anybody that was able to, like, get up upon her hut, it says that they would always find her stretched across her cooking stove, which was a huge stove that she built so she could, like, cook and eat her victims. I don't know. And it said that the stove was magic, so it could, like, change in size. And, I know. It's so weird. Like, why are you just, like, chilling on your stove? Just, like, is it warm?
Again, she just, to be as powerful as she is, it seems like she could just come up with a better solution.
Yeah. Okay, so as explained by Freya, Norse mythology, usually Baba Yaga is a frightening witch who lives in the middle of a very deep forest in a place which is often difficult to find unless a magic clue, a ball of yarn or thread, or a magic feather shows the way. The old hag lives in a wooden hut on 2 chicken legs, sometimes 3 or 4 legs are described, and usually the hut is turned with its back towards the traveler. Only a magical word can make it turn around on its chicken legs to face the newcomer.
So if you walk around it, the house just keeps...
Nope. No, not today, sir, not today.
You don't know the magic word.
You cannot enter unless you know the word. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. So, it says, like I mentioned before, it makes lots of loud noises. The hut does, not her. It makes lots of loud noises, which is, like, terrifying to the people that are trying to, like, enter it.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't you already be, like, there's a fence with human skulls on top, and it's a house with chicken legs, and the zodiac signs are everywhere. Like, I'd already be a little nervous.
Yeah. And the hut understands, like human language. So it's able to decide whether and when to let a visitor enter its premises. Finally, the hut is often depicted as being able to see with its eyes, which are the windows, and to speak with its mouth, which is the doorway. It also cannot help feeling that the hut is able to think, and one can observe these thoughts through the wild, powerful clouds of steam emerging from the hut's chimney. Yeah.
I read a whole book about the hut alone. Like,
I know.
regardless of Baba Yaga, I just the house she lives in.
Yes. It also says that often Baba Yaga has her hut protected by hungry dogs, or it's being watched over by evil geese swans. Sophie is terrified.
Evil geese swans? Yeah.
Sophie is terrified of giant flying birds, and she calls them war chickens. So this would be terrifying to her.
I don't like birds, and I don't like...
Yeah.
Geese in particular.
Yeah, they're crazy.
They're angry all the time about everything.
And like all witches, she has a cat that guards the door. So, it's often found to be guarded by either lockout or it's... No. The gates of Baba Yaga's villa are often found to be guardians of Yaga's hut, as they either lock out or lock in the witch's prey. All those bones of her victims. Actually, no, the bones of the zodiac. So I don't know who those came from. Did the gods give them to her? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it says when she sleeps.
She sleeps. I don't know why I just thought she was.
Yeah. It says that she's like all stretched out in the hut. So like some stories say that like her nose is so long that it touches the ceiling, and like hands touch one corner, feet touch the other corner. That's interesting. But did you know that the cabin on the chicken legs may be based on real buildings? I loved this part of it. Okay, so I don't know how to pronounce anything, but
well, you know I'm really good at it.
Storehouse on stilts displayed in Stockholm is a cabin on chicken legs with no windows and no doors. It's also like what Baba Yaga lives in. It is where people like hunter-gatherer nomadic people would preserve their supplies on these tall like stilt-like buildings so animals and stuff wouldn't get to them. They would just cut the stumps of 2 or 3 closely grown trees, and then just so like the bottoms looked like they had like little claws, and then they would just build them on those.
Oh.
Yeah. And then Siberian pagans use the same, but to hold figurines of their gods. So among the Siberian people, a common picture of a bone-carved doll in rags in a small cabin on the top of a tree stump fits the description of Baba Yaga's hut. I know. And then some of the ancient people used it for like funeral traditions of like cremation in these huts. So in 1948, Russian archaeologists discovered small huts of the described type with traces of corpse cremations and circular fences around them.
Oh, I know. Creepy.
Uh-huh. Yep. So like I said, she is also like known as a goddess, and so people will use her to like practice their magic and stuff. And it here just like cautions anybody that is going to practice magic to just be very, very careful. It says it all comes at a price. One of the things that Baba Yaga, the goddess, has in common with Baba Yaga, the character, is that she'll give you what you want, but you have to prove that you want it. Usually this means by giving something special up in return. So, yeah.
Like your voice.
And
that's why I keep thinking of Ursula. It won't cost much.
Singing.
Just your voice.
No, I can't stop.
And now,
Ariel, and now my nose is running. Oh God. Okay.
You're welcome.
Oh God. Okay. So many of Baba Yaga's fans playfully call her a feminist icon. Listen, do you remember this book, The Literary Witches?
I do. I have a tarot deck of that.
See it? I love it so much. So the lady that wrote this is the lady talking about this. She said they call her a feminist icon. She also wrote stuff about Baba Yaga. So the mind behind Ask Baba Yaga tells broadly that she sees Baba Yaga as an aspirational figure. That image of an old woman living in the woods doing whatever she wants all day long continues to be the dream for myself. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to eat people.
I don't want to fly around in a cauldron.
No, I get really car sick. So my hut constantly...
like I said, just imagining it, I'm like...
My head constantly spinning would make me so sick.
But the living in the woods part and the whole, like, no one gets to come to your house unless they know the secret code part,
yes,
I'm all about it.
It's like those tree houses.
Yeah.
He-Man must be so manly that if he were to fall off a building, he'd go out of his way to land on a girl. What else did they say? Little Rascals.
I can't remember.
They had other things. I don't know. Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, you get to live in a treehouse.
I know. So she said, kind of outside of the things which constrain human society, like time and morality, she may well be so compelling for women today because of her rejection of social standards and the power that comes from that. She's an outlier with power that isn't derived from her beauty or her relationships with others. Instead, it comes from within. Earth, hut, fiery stove. Yeah.
Because they've clearly described her as no beauty whatsoever.
Yes.
Her nose is long enough to touch the ceiling when she goes to sleep.
Claws. And maybe no leg, or maybe a leg that she uses as a pedestal.
A lot of problems.
Okay, so there are two famous stories that I'm going to tell you that are related to Baba Yaga.
Okay.
They're so fun. When I was reading them, I was like, oh, this is amazing. Okay, the first one is a girl named Vasilisa. Vasilisa was a daughter of a merchant whose wife dies when the girl was 8 years old. Kind of sounds like Disney fairy tales. Well, on her deathbed, the mother gives Vasilisa a small wooden doll. She told Vasilisa that if she fed it a small amount to eat and drink, if she were in the need, the doll would help her. So she did, and the doll comforted her. Eventually, as men will do, her father remarried to a woman who had 2 daughters of her own. What does this sound like?
Cinderella.
Uh-huh. This woman was very cruel to Vasilisa, who was always able to do all the chores assigned to her with the help of her little wooden doll. Her stepmother would not allow her to be married before her own daughters and would send all of Vasilisa's suitors away. They had no desire to wed her stepsisters, so that made the stepmother angry. I mean, this story has been around for forever. Yeah. So Disney, quit.
Quit it.
So on a day that Vasilisa's father left on a trip, the stepmother sold his home and moved them into a hut in the forest. I don't know why. I mean, if you have a nice big house, why would you do that? Crazy. Yeah, which was very dark and gloomy. She gave each of the girls a chore to do and put out all the fires in the hut except for one candle. The older stepsister sent Vasilisa to see Baba Yaga to fetch one more light. With the help of her doll, she knew where to go, and so she went. As she traveled, she passed a man dressed in white on a white horse. You know, I mentioned those three horses.
Horsemen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then a man dressed in red on a red horse. She soon came to the house, which stood on chicken legs, whereupon she noticed that the fence was made with bones, and a man dressed in black on a black horse rode past her. She was frozen with fear, so Baba Yaga found her when she returned home. To earn the fire, Baba Yaga told Vasilisa that she must perform certain tasks or she would be killed. Vasilisa cleaned the house, the yard, washed Baba Yaga's laundry, cooked for her, and so on and so on. Mm-hmm. Vasilisa was exhausted and scared that she would never complete the task given to her, so she fed her small doll and asked her again for help. So the two of them completed the tasks. Each of the horsemen rode by again, and when Baba Yaga returned home, she found nothing that she could complain about. She allowed Vasilisa to ask questions of her, and when she inquired of the horsemen, Baba Yaga explained that the white one was day, the red was sun, and the black is night. She also asked Vasilisa how she was able to complete her chores and was told that it was by the blessing of Vasilisa's mother. Baba Yaga threw Vasilisa out of her home, not wanting any of her blessings. And she gave Vasilisa a lantern made out of a skull that was full of burning coal for her family. When she returned home, she learned that no one in her family had been able to light any of the candles or fire while she was gone. Vasilisa's stepmother and stepsisters were burned to ashes by the coals in the skull. So Vasilisa buried the skull so that no one else,
inappropriate.
No one else would be harmed by it again.
Nice.
Yeah, so she comes like carrying this skull on like this stake and shows up, and there's like they can't light these candles for some reason, so she shines light and boom, ashes.
That's pretty great.
Take
it's a pretty great.
Suck it.
I didn't like the doll part of that story though.
I know.
I get dolls creep me out in general, but like a doll that helps you.
Yeah. So it's like all the Disney stories in one. It's like,
it is.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of Rapunzel.
Uh-huh. Yeah, all the things. So then there's another one, Baba Yaga and the Peasant Children. Another story involves peasant children, again, the victims of a cruel stepmother. In the tale, the children are sent to Baba Yaga to be rid of, but they manage to escape the witch's hut through the help of all the animals, plants, and objects Baba Yaga neglects. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Mm-hmm. A black cat helps them plan their escape because they feed him when the witch doesn't. So the cat that hangs out at her gate.
Hocus Pocus.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a Disney one.
I mean,
is it? Is Hocus Pocus Disney?
Was it on Disney Plus?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Huh.
Not super important.
Yeah, I don't know, but now I'm just like, Thackeray Binks, please tell us. A gate closes Baba Yaga off from them because she never tends it. And then even trees of the forest attempt to stand in her path because of similar mistreatment. Thus, the children return home in one piece, Baba Yaga forfeiting her search when it grows too difficult. Again, this tale ends happily with the stepmother thrown out and the father protecting his children. And again, Baba Yaga's role is one of an obstacle. She might otherwise not have bothered the children if they hadn't bothered her first.
Huh.
Yeah. I know, I love her. Short story, but
I love
fun.
all these.
So
I love
fun.
the witch stories.
I know.
Except the murdering witch one. But the other ones.
Yeah, I'm the one that thought she needed to be famous somehow.
Yeah, the pop star.
Yeah.
Malaysia, I think.
Yeah.
Mona.
Mona Fandy.
Didn't like her.
Fandy?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But I like Baba Yaga.
I know, Baba Yaga's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is interesting to see how many Disney stories specifically have really dark roots.
Yes.
And they turn them into, sing-songy.
I know.
But the Little Mermaid one's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
The Little Mermaid was not attractive.
Maybe we should do episodes on
we could do
the
that.
dark sides of Disney.
Yeah, because there's like the origins a lot of those are super dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the idea of the wicked stepmother and her stepsisters getting just burned to ashes.
I love it so much.
That's way better.
Imagine her being like just exhausted after doing all these tasks, like knowing that her like mom's spirit is with the doll, helping her do all this stuff. She's got this light and this creepy looking skull, and just shows up at the house, and they look at it and boom.
Yeah.
She's like, there's a lot of power in this, but
That's
she buries it.
Karma. Oh, I
buried
didn't get
it.
that part.
Yeah.
She buried it. I guess I got distracted by that.
Yeah. Ash part.
Ashes.
It's fine. That's the most important part of it.
That was a great story.
Thanks.
Thanks.
And that was actually one of our listeners. I cannot remember the name. I'm horrible. But I'll give her a shout out on Instagram.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks so much. I can't remember. I remember seeing it on our list, but I can't remember where the suggestion came from.
Because it had been on my mind for a bit, but then when she said something about it, I was like, oh, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fun.
Yeah. So thanks. Thanks for sending in all your suggestions. We have a whole spreadsheet full, which I think we told you. But if you have more, feel free. witchesmagicmurdermystery@gmail.com.
Yep. Or DM us on Instagram.
Yes. Also, witchesmagicmurdermystery. It's been a while since we've talked about reviews, but we have like 78 or something now, which is really fun.
But it makes my OCD want to be at 100.
Yeah. So help out Kara.
Yeah. Get my OCD under control.
If you haven't taken the time to leave a rating, that'd be great. And leave a review. If you're going to say nice things.
Only say nice things. So don't leave a 3-star review and don't say words.
Then we don't
also
know.
Yeah. Who wronged you? We didn't. We clearly didn't. But
we're great.
We're amazing people.
Yeah. So thanks for the good story.
Somebody crawling around on rocks out there.
They're still out there.
Ugh.
Do we have anything else? Do we have any other items of business to discuss? No?
I don't know.
I feel like I had stuff in my head I wanted to say, and I can't remember either. Facebook group.
Here we are.
We've been having so many new people join the Facebook group in the last week, so that's been fun. The more people that join, the more we can talk about different cases and stuff.
Oh, I saw on this, one of those podcast groups that we're in, that a lady was asking, how do you all feel about Zoom meetings for your Facebook groups?
I was
too.
That'd be fun. We could have a big Zoom hangout. We should think about that. Would you guys be interested in that?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Let us know about it.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.
All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.